enough. Shall we just say, Paul? Just go in video. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Jones. I have been Stevenson's public address announcer for the past 11 years, and I'm proudly known as the voice of the Mustangs. I would like to welcome everyone to the 7th annual Dick Watts Stevenson University Athletics Hall of Fame banquet. It is my distinct honor to serve as this year's MC, helping to present tonight's program where we celebrate and honor the accomplishments of our student athletes and administrators. These people have laid the foundation for the unprecedented growth and success that we have enjoyed as Villa Julie College and Stevenson University. First, I would like to introduce the current members of the Hall of Fame who are in attendance with us this evening. Brett Adams, Hall of Fame, Class 2019. Carol Zimmerman, Hall of Fame, Class 2015. Tonya Cristino Ramsel, Hall of Fame, Class 2018. Lauren Humphreys, Hall of Fame, Class 2019. Fran Fiddler, Hall of Fame Class 2016. Katie Decker-Riley, Hall of Fame Class 2019. Tim Campbell, Hall of Fame Class 2018. Pete Nee, Hall of Fame Class 2016. Please join me in another round of applause for these greats of Villa Julie and Stevenson Athletics. And now, I would like to introduce the president of Stevenson University. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Elliot Hirshman.
Our athletics programs have faced extraordinary challenges. Challenges that were unimaginable even 2 years ago. We have faced these challenges with resilience, determination, and a profound commitment to the central role of athletics at Stevenson. I want to recognize the extraordinary efforts of Vice President Melanie Edmondson, who joins us tonight, Athletic Director Brett Adams, our coaches, our trainers, our athletics department staff, our student athletes, and all of our families who, no matter what the obstacles, have moved us forward. Please join me in recognizing everyone who has supported Mustang athletics. Tonight, as we recognize those who have set the standard for our community, we reflect on why athletics plays such a central role at Stevenson. Our athletics programs inspire us. The dedication of our student athletes, their grace and skill, the thrill of competition. We all learned how important each of these are when we could not compete. Athletics unites us as one community, and it helps our students develop the grit and determination that stands them in good stead long after their playing days are over. And tonight, we celebrate members of our community who did this best, who stood out from the rest and left a proud legacy. To the members of this year's Hall of Fame class, to each of you, we are proud of you, and we congratulate you on your achievements. You and your accomplishments will forever be a part of Stevenson history. Thank you all for joining us. We're very glad you're here for this very special night.
Thank you, Dr. Hirshman. To help illustrate the university's rich athletic history and tradition, please turn your attention to the video screens to see just how much we have accomplished in over 2 decades of membership in the NCAA in Division III.
In 1990, the Villa Julie College Board of Trustees decided to pursue a wider scope of sports that would enhance campus life. The college began fielding a men's lacrosse club team competing against local community colleges and other college club teams. In 1994, Villa Julie joins the ranks of the NCAA at the Division III level, sponsoring 11 sports. The following year, women's basketball takes the court, increasing the total number of sports to 12. In the 1998-99 academic year, women's volleyball and softball were sponsored, bringing the sport total to 14. The following spring, baseball becomes the 15th intercollegiate sport. In November 2000, women's soccer becomes the first team in school history to make an appearance in the NCAA tournament, advancing to the Sweet 16. In 2002, men's volleyball is added as the 16th intercollegiate sport. In May 2003, the men's lacrosse team wins the NCAC South Region Championship, marking the first ever postseason title for a Village Julie athletic team. In 2004, Village Julie began competition in the Northeastern Athletic Conference. 3 years later, Village Julie joins the Capital Athletic Conference. Men's basketball becomes the first team in school history to win a conference championship, winning the 2007 NEAC title. That spring, men's lacrosse becomes the first program in school history to receive a national ranking, as the Mustangs are ranked number 17 in the USILA coaches poll. In 2008, men's lacrosse has 3 players named All-American, marking the first selections in school history. In June 2008, the Board of Trustees of Village Julie College voted unanimously to change the name of the institution to Stevenson University. 1 year later, Stevenson announces the addition of football as its 20th intercollegiate sport. Stevenson joined the Middle Atlantic Conference as an associate member in football in 2010. That same year, Stevenson reinstates men's and women's indoor track and field and announces the addition of men's and women's outdoor track and field, raising the institution's number of sports to 22. During the summer of 2011, Stevenson announces the addition of women's ice hockey as the 23rd intercollegiate sport. In 2011, Stevenson joins the Middle Atlantic Conference. Men's lacrosse became the first team in school history to win a national championship with a 16-14 victory over RIT at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia in 2013. In April 2014, Stevenson announces the addition of men's and women's swimming as its 24th and 25th intercollegiate sports. The following year, Stevenson pushes its total of intercollegiate sports to 27, with the addition of women's beach volleyball and men's ice hockey. In 2019, Stevenson celebrated its 25th anniversary of NCAA sports sponsorship.
Quite a legacy. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Stevenson's first and only athletic director, Brett Adams.
Wow. It's hard not to get emotional when you look at all the changes, the growth, the Hall of Fame athletes in those videos. We just recently announced our 28th team as acrobat and tumbling this year, which we've hired the coach and we are prepared to compete this spring. It continues showing the history that we provide opportunities for men and women on our campus. For those of you who don't know, acrobat and tumbling is really a combination of gymnastics and cheerleading that is sponsored by the NCAA. And we're really proud to have that offering. As the athletic director during that time, I also spent some time as the basketball coach and the tennis coach for brief periods. And it is my great pleasure to have been able to coach and interact with our student athletes on a day-to-day basis. Another person who interacted with me as an administrator was Mr. Dick Watts, and I want to make sure that we recognize him. Coach Watts passed away October 25th of 2020. He was really the founder of our club and intramural program and helped us launch the NCAA. And so if we could have a few moments of silence for our Dick Watts, I would appreciate that. Thank you. This 2020 class, which would have been inducted last fall, your patience is measurable by the fortitude and your interest and our caution of safety. It was really important for us to not try to honor you in a different way. We wanted to honor you in person, because in athletics, your personal attention to each other is a significant part of your relationships, and I know it's a significant part of your success. So here we are, almost a year later, honoring you, and I'm so glad we were able to do that in person. How we have been able to do that in person were some adjustments: the theater style, the outdoor dinner, the commitment with Anderson Audio, Brooks Edmond, our video staff, Josh Hill, Jay Zorzi, our staff, Fran Fiddler, MC McFadden, Paul Cantabine, Kathy Raley, the whole Hall of Fame committee. I really appreciate your efforts to make sure that we're honoring this 2020 class this way. The 2020 class, and I am very fortunate. I've been able to see every athlete that's ever participated and competed at Villa Julie and Stevenson. This class is recognizing the very first nationally ranked women's lacrosse team, and is also honoring one of our leaders on that team, Lauren Howard, formerly Zegowitz. We also have a fantastic golf athlete. He was part of a successful team, but he was also a leader as a young player that helped us make our first NCAA tournament. We also have a men's lacrosse player who, in my personal opinion, is probably the most prolific offensive player to ever have played here, and we've been very good in men's lacrosse. And it wasn't just because of his scoring ability, and I know I'm not totally wrong, because I know the national lacrosse community recognized him as such also. We have a two-sport athlete who was a captain leader when we were in a very difficult Capital Athletic Conference, an NCAA tournament captain, a two-sport athlete, and notably our first sibling Hall of Fame inductee, Allison Cuneo. Her sister, Lauren Humphreys, is also here tonight. Thank you. When our volleyball team was added as the 16th sport, we were one of 32 teams in the nation in men's volleyball. It was not easy to pull the trigger when we needed to travel so far in upstate New York and throughout the region. There is a player who's getting inducted tonight who was the impetus of how our program started on a national level. And our men's volleyball program is very good, as well as our whole volleyball program. The men's volleyball program has got as high as top 4 in the nation, the semifinalists, Elite 8, and we boast one of the 12 gold medalists in 1984 as our coach. And a large part was due to that player's infectious enthusiasm, and that's J.R. Jackson. I was also fortunate, as I mentioned earlier, that I was a basketball coach. So I was fortunate enough for this inductee to have seen just about every practice, contest, and so on over those 4 years. And quite boastfully, probably the most talented inside player on both ends of the floor that I had seen in our tenure here up until the NCAA tournament team, Tanisha Foster. Lastly, what can I say about this contributor, Coach Raymer? 27 years side by side, 16 of years as basketball coaches together. On the buses, long trips, conversations, nights in the parking lot, watching practices, helping each other. Road trips to upstate New York for league games, no less. Sodding the green spring field. Tiling the locker room during the Christmas break so that the visiting teams could have a place to change in our first tournament in the Greenspring gym. Watching him build lockers, over 300 of them, oak lockers, so that we could model what the Ravens had left us here, and we could have that on both campuses. 300 solid oak lockers. And then he also taught our students how to do that. You've done absolutely everything that I've asked, and he's always eager and willing to help more. I know your record as a golf coach will go down as legendary, And you started coaching golf because I asked you to. And obviously one of the best golf coaches in the region. I don't recall the exact number, I lose count, but it's 9-time Coach of the Year, NCAA tournament for both men and women. But what makes you really special in my book is your relationship with the student athletes. It's second to none. Your relationships are transformational, they're funny, and I marvel at it. I could go on, and I would if I had more time, but I think it's the presenter's time now to induct this class of 2020. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brett. Before we begin with the introduction of this year's Hall of Fame inductees, the Hall of Fame Committee would like to take this opportunity to thank Jay Zorzi, Stevenson's athletics video producer, for his work on this year's videos for each inductee. As we present this year's inductees and teams of tradition, I invite all of you to read about their many honors and accomplishments in this year's banquet program. After a brief introduction and video accompaniment, we will invite each inductee to come forward to make their remarks before receiving their commemorative award. Joining me is Associate Athletic Director and Hall of Fame Committee Chair, Paul Cantabine, and Stevenson Athletic Director, Brett Adams. Our first inductee this evening is contributor Chris Raymer. Chris has been at Stevenson Village Julie since 1995. Serving as the school's inaugural women's basketball coach until 2011. He later worked as assistant athletic director and athletic facilities director before his current role as the head coach of the Mustang men's and women's golf programs. He's amassed 10 Conference Coach of the Year honors as head coach of the Stevenson men's and women's golf teams.
I can't think of a better man that deserves this honor than Chris Raymer. Chris and I have known each other since the year 2000, and he has worked so hard and so passionately for Village Julie and Stevenson University, and has done it all. If you go back to his early years, his early time here, he started the women's basketball program from scratch to the point where they didn't have a gym, and he was using his connections as a teacher to get keys from principals so that not only his team could practice, but also multiple other sports could practice at gyms in various locations around Baltimore County. There's been numerous times where he's stepped up and done things for the university that has saved the university hundreds of thousands of dollars in manpower and equipment. And two examples that I can think of right off the top of my head would be resodding the soccer field or sodding the soccer field in the early days. And then each athlete that goes to Stevenson has a fantastic locker room that Coach Raymer physically handmade himself and honestly donated a couple fingers to the cause as well. And thankfully we're able to get those back on his hands. But he has just done so much and is so loved by the campus community for his efforts. And I can't say it enough. Congratulations, Coach. You deserve this. And I cannot believe, and I have the honor to talk about you today. And you're a wonderful human being, and you will give your back, the shirt off your back to anybody that asks for it or needs it. And it doesn't matter if it's 20 degrees outside. That's the type of human being you are, and I cannot express my gratitude and thankfulness for the lives you have touched at Villa Julie and Stevenson, and for your family's allowance of you to share your wonderful knowledge with the university community.
It is my honor to welcome Chris Raymer into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. They said everything about it. But I'll show you our program in 1995. This is what we gave out as a program. Now they are fancy. This is it. That's it. Schedule, team picture, all in one. That's what we did. I want to thank everybody who had a part in making this program successful. It's fabulous. At first, when they told me I was going to go into the Hall of Fame, I wasn't too excited because Paul knows this is a Hall of Fame for people done. I'm not done. Not even close. Not even close. I want to congratulate the inductees that have been here before and making it tonight. I've had a part of coaching them. Not every one of them, but I knew them all because I was here every day. I was here every day. It didn't matter. I taught for 31 years and in public school, and when I came on board as a coach for the basketball team, Coach Adams says, I need you to be full-time. I said, I can't go full-time. I got to get 30 years in to get my insurance, you know. But I want to thank my family, my daughters, my wife, who especially put up with me because I never was home. Never was home. You know, so many coaches can talk about family. Mine's true. It was family. My middle daughter coached tennis here, assistant. My youngest daughter coached cross country here. My oldest one, who was at college, when she came home, she was expected to help. Okay, and that's the way it was. And then my wife put up with me never being home. Never. You know, my girls did everything I needed. There's no doubt. The first year of basketball, Coach Adams says, you're going to get a gym. Well, we got a gym. I think it was like a year later. And Steve said we practiced everywhere. Jeremy, we practiced at Cockeysville Middle, Dumbarton Middle, and Towson High School because I knew the principals and I had keys. So we did. And we did both teams together, so it didn't matter. My experience coaching basketball with Coach Adams was fabulous. We traveled together as two teams, men and women together. They don't do that now. We did. And it got us close together, both teams. We went to Vermont. We went to Florida. We did everything together. The worst thing was we would play at 6 o'clock. My girls were ready to come home at 8. The guys played at 8. They didn't get out of the shower till 10. So we didn't get home till like 2 or 3 in the morning. But it was well worth it, both teams. My daughter with the first team, Coach Adams put the schedule together, I will tell you this. The first uniform we did wasn't very good. The numbers were crooked. The names were crooked. We had to get a new set. But we didn't have a gym. And the very first week of basketball, we weren't allowed to use a basketball. They didn't think the girls would come in, or the guys, in condition. So the first week was conditioning with no basketball. So I brought a football, I brought a volleyball. I did anything I could to practice. And where did we practice? Tennis courts. And we did a SSS, sprint, slide, and shuffle. That's all we could do. And we couldn't take the nets down in tennis because they used them. And that's where we practiced. Then we moved over to St. Paul's, women, and we practiced at 10 o'clock at night. And I want to let you know, my first coming here, I thought this is going to be easy. It was the hardest experience I've ever had. No dorms. We were a 4-year glorified commuter school. They all commuted. And the girls that were on the team, they never played basketball but one. So my 13-year-old Jessica, she was my assistant. She was my sidekick. She went to every game, okay, every single game. She worked with the girls on shooting, on dribbling, and we would say, please catch the ball, please shoot the ball, please dribble the ball. And then if I said B to B, they're going, what is that, coach? What is that? I'm saying, well, you got to box out. It's butt to belly. They didn't know what that was, you know. But I will say this, that very first team, I'm very close to them. I'm a friend to them because we stayed close together. Our first game was on a Saturday against the College of Notre Dame. And Coach Adams and myself, I had a girl on the team that was Tracy Smith from New Zealand. She was a nanny. We stayed Friday night after 12 o'clock to do paperwork for her to get her green card. Friday night. We go to the game Saturday, she's not there. I got the bus. Where is she? We don't know, Coach. We don't know. I get to the College of Notre Dame. I take her uniform. She walks in. She says, Coach, I just got married. I don't need a green card. You know, and that's what we worked with. That's what I worked with, okay? We had a girl, Jen O'Neill, from Elizabeth Seton in Montgomery, in Prince George County. Big-time basketball school. 5'10". I'm thinking, oh, man, I got a person that no one knows about. She had never played one sport. None. No rec, no nothing. But she was great on the computer, and she did our stats. You know, it was fabulous, you know. We're playing the game, and I go to try to put her in the game, and she starts crying. Coach Adams comes out of the stands. My wife comes out of the stand, and we got to plead for her to go in the game. You know, and she did. She did, and she became a very good player after 4 years. Right now, she's working for Lockheed down in Florida, doing a great job, But those first couple years were very difficult, no doubt. But then I had the pleasure of being, or I guess not pleasure, but being lucky to recruit. And I got a girl from Hancock who's on the Hall of Fame, Alicia Bernard. And then I got Tanisha here, probably one of the top 5 players ever to come out of this program. I know that because I did it for 4 years, you know, no doubt. So I've been very lucky with the recruiting. But after 16 years, my wife says, whoa, you never got to see your girls. You never got to see your daughters play in college. I had one playing at Mary Washington, one playing at Arcadia, and my youngest was going out for Towson. She says, you can't do that. You cannot miss your grandkids. And I have 5, and I want to thank Paul for letting me go first because my grandkids are 2 years old, and you've probably seen them running around going crazy. But he let me go first because it's bedtime for them. You know, it's bedtime. So I've been very lucky with that. But these were tough years. And so I gave up basketball, even though I still love it. I watch it every night. You know, there's no doubt in my mind. But I used to be the assistant athletic director, director of intramurals, facilities. I did everything. And I should have known it was going to be a job that you got to do it. You got to do it. Because we didn't have a gym. You had no choice. You had to. I came in and my daughters, they say I've changed, I've mellowed. Before I used to be blood and, you know, a little blood and guts. It was, you either win or we ain't going to make it. And my daughters, they say, not now. You're too easy. You're soft. I learned I've learned hard, you got to be patient and flexible. You got to be patient and flexible. And if you're not going to make it. So then as an assistant AD, Coach Adams says, would you take the golf team? I'm going, I love golf. Sam Snead was my idol. I loved it. Never played it, but I loved it. He says, take the team. So I took it. We had 2 guys, 2 boys, and then I had a girl, and then I took 2 boys from the baseball team. And we did 4 or 5 matches. I had a boy shoot a 143, for 18, and it was tough. Then he did a 121. I said, you're not quite ready for college, but you can practice as much as you want. He turned his gear in the next day. I swore after that I would recruit. So I took over in 2005. We went to the Nationals in 2007. And one of the boys is being inducted today, and he's still one of our leaders for average and everything. And then he brought his brother with him, and he came 4 years after that. So I've been very fortunate with that. I hired a young lady for golf to take the women's team. It didn't work out. So I took the women's team in 2011. And you thought 141 was tough? Walk with someone shooting a 217. That's tough. But we didn't slow anybody down. I see ball, I hit ball. All right? And I swore that day I was going to recruit for women. As of right now, our women are ranked 38th in the country. I've got a great group of girls. Our men are fabulous. And I've got a large team, about 15 guys from all over. So I've been very fortunate being here. Coach Adams has left me, I don't want to say free reign, but I do what I want. Okay, all right? As long as I stay within the rules of the NCAA. All right? But again, I appreciate this. At first I didn't want it, but now I do, and I see what an honor it is to be here with the fellow inductees and everything. I want to thank you for being here, and it's enjoyable. Thank you so much. This is my youngest. Can you say hi to everybody?
Our second inductee is Allison Humphreys Cuneo. Allison was a 4-year standout for the women's soccer program, also competing on the women's basketball team for 1 season. A 3-time all-conference selection and Capital Athletic Conference Player of the Year. She is currently Stevenson's Assistant Vice President for Annual Giving and Alumni Relations.
I had the esteemed pleasure of coaching Allison Humphreys, now Cuneo, for 4 years when she was a soccer player here at Stevenson University. So excited for her to be inducted into this year's 2020 Hall of Fame class. Allison was an outstanding player for our soccer program. She helped take the program to new levels on the field. We went from a team that was not making the playoffs in a very competitive Capital Athletic Conference to making the NCAA tournament her senior year. an unbelievable achievement, and Allison was part of that process all the way through. She trusted what we were doing as coaches. She trusted her teammates. She made her teammates better on the field and off the field. A stellar student. She earned the CAC Player of the Year, the only female athlete to do that at Stevenson, and is just somebody that was just ever present. I think she played close to 80 games, always there for the team, a captain from her sophomore year, somebody that really bought into what we were doing and really believed in Stevenson. She believed in our soccer program, and she took us to new levels, culminating with that CAC title in 2010, which was an unbelievable achievement, an overtime win over Frostburg. And Allison just epitomizes everything we wanted in a player. She was committed, she was disciplined, she's got a pretty sweet left foot on her, and she just came up big in every game. I have to say thank you to the club coaches and our high school coach, John Carroll, for making Allison the player that she was when she came to Stevenson. She just had unbelievable technical abilities. She just worked so hard up and down the field. And those coaches that guided her through her childhood and through school obviously brought her to where she needed to be at the college level. So I can't thank them enough. I also have to say thank you to her parents, Wayne and Susan. And Susan's the best tailgate mom I've ever had. In 15 years here, I've never had a better tailgate mom. I don't think the words that I'm going to express here about Allison will do it justice, just how much she meant to this program and how much she gave to this program. Allison was an exceptional student athlete, recognized by her peers, recognized by the conference, and as somebody that has forever left a very positive mark on the Stevenson women's soccer program.
From the class of 2011, it is my honor to welcome Allison Humphreys Cuneo into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame.
Wow, oh my goodness, Graham. Already emotional at all times. So first, I have to say to Coach Raymer, and I don't know if he's here or maybe bidding farewell to his grandkids, but he is a very tough act to follow. I think it is safe to say that every athlete in the history of Villa Julia and Stevenson athletics has our share of Coach Raymer stories. So he has certainly left his mark on this place and on each one of us. And to borrow one of his many famous lines, it's a true touch of heaven to share this experience with him. As a student and now as a member of Stevenson's staff, I've had the opportunity to be a part of many events on this campus, and this truly rivals them all. So I want to start with just a few important acknowledgments to Paul and the Hall of Fame committee, along with Brett, MC, Chip, Lisa, and everyone who worked so hard to make this evening possible. Thank you. I want to extend my gratitude and my congratulations to my fellow inductees, as well as all of the Hall of Fame members who have come before us. You are each a part of Stevenson's legacy, and it is an honor to share this recognition with you. Perhaps my greatest joy tonight is to follow in the footsteps of an athlete who has inspired me in every possible way for as long as I can remember. Watching her rise to every challenge, changing perceptions, and igniting hope has been the privilege of a lifetime. So to my older sister, Lauren, who was inducted into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame in 2019, please know that you have made me the person I am today. You're without a doubt the greatest inspiration in my life. I would not be standing here without... She's pretty great. I would not be standing here without the love and support of my amazing parents, Susan and Wayne. So thank you, Mom, or Tailgate Mom, as Graham lovingly knows you, for encouraging and embracing every passion and hobby that we took on through the years. And thank you for your support and your grace when sports trumped them all. And thanks, Dad, for the years of your life that you committed to coaching, chauffeuring, and spectating But most importantly, thank you for never pushing us to take our journey as athletes any farther than we wanted to go. From you, we learned how to love the game on our own terms. And finally, to my husband, DJ, although you weren't a part of my college experience at Stevenson, you have fully embraced this place as your own. The fact that you own more Stevenson gear than that of your own alma mater is a testament to the way that you support the people that you love. Claire, James, and I are so lucky that you are ours. Tonight, I just want to share a few lessons that I learned in my time as a student athlete that have served me well beyond graduation. So first, from my second favorite coach of all time, Graham Millar, he only comes second to my dad, I eventually learned to use my left. I'm sorry that it didn't sink in on the soccer field. You certainly shouted it at me enough. But there have been countless moments in my post-college life when I've realized that doing what comes naturally or feels most comfortable is not always the best path. When I've been able to step outside of my comfort zone, I've grown professionally and personally, and I owe that to you and to the shouting. From David, Ted, Beth, Debbie, and the incredible faculty across campus, I learned to lean in to ask for help. The Stevenson Network is strong, and the thing that makes this place so special is the people. It's the community. Like many graduates, I found myself a bit lost navigating life beyond Stevenson, and I will always be grateful to my Mustang family for helping me find my way. And lastly, from Brett, Coach Raymer, Carol, and Chip, I learned how to bleed green. You each carry this university in your heart, no matter the weather, and for decades you have cared for our students and our alumni as if we were your own. Thank you for setting the bar high for the next generation of faculty and staff. I hope that we can make you proud. It's an incredible feeling to be surrounded tonight by so many people who share my love for this university. My mom's a Villa Julie grad from the class of 1970. My cousin Tara, who I've always looked up to, played soccer here in the 90s. My sister Lauren and I overlapped for a year, and I collected my soul sisters, Tonya, Katie, and Jess, along the way. And as for the next generation, DJ and I welcomed our first future Mustang about 3 years ago, our daughter Claire. And any minute, hopefully not like this minute, another member of our legacy family will be making his debut. So this university is truly a part of us. It's our past, our present, and our future. So thank you, Stevenson University, for being our home away from home.
Thank you, Allison. Our third inductee is Tanisha Foster. Tanisha, a 4-year member of the women's basketball program, is the program's all-time leader in blocked shots. She amassed over 1,250 career points, ranking 3rd in program history in scoring. Tanisha earned first team Northeastern Athletic Conference all-conference honors during her first season with the Mustangs.
She wanted to play ball, and she went to Dundalk. She played ball at Dundalk, and she enjoyed the game. So I got her enrolled in some camps, and she went to a lot of the basketball camps, and went to St. Francis, and they won two championships in a row, and then she decided to come here to Villa Julie, which is now Stevenson. And it's just been a awesome trip. She loved the game. She played the game very well. She knew the game very well. And it's just an awesome experience for me to be here speaking on my daughter's behalf. What made her so special? She's always been a special kid. But as far as the game was concerned, she knew the game in and out. And she was so good with the game, she could have actually been a coach. But she loved the game very much. She wound up being a great player and a great kid. It's awesome. It's just awesome. I congratulate Tanisha Foster on her endeavors in making it to the Stevenson Hall of Fame. It's a great honor, and I'm very proud of you, girl. Thank you very much. I love you.
From the class of 2008, it is my honor to welcome Tanisha Foster into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame.
So I'm super nervous. I do not like public speaking, but as you can see, I have my little kids here. My other son is in the bathroom, and I just wanted to say thanks for the recognition and being inducted into the Stevenson University Hall of Fame. I have so many memories here. Thanks to all my family and friends that are here and that supported me during my basketball career. I'm super excited to share this moment with my children, and I hope they are inspired and I wish them much success in basketball. Right now, I'm a basketball mom, and I'm a little crazy basketball mom, and I just love it. I'm super involved, and I just love watching my oldest son play basketball, and he's really good, and he wants to go to the NBA, so I'm really pushing him and trying to make him a better player than I am and keeping that fight in him because that's his dream, and I'm super excited that he's kind of following in my footsteps. I wanted to say thanks to Coach Raymer. He's gone, but he was super inspirational in my basketball career, and we used to always have fun together, fight together, and was just super involved in the basketball. And it's a special moment that we both are in the Hall of Fame together. We made a lot of history here together, and I have so many memories with him and my basketball classmates. I will cherish those memories forever. And again, thank you to Stevenson University and the inductees who came before me and who are here as well, and congratulations to everyone. So thank you.
Thank you, Tanisha. Our fourth inductee is J.R. Jackson. JR played for 4 seasons with the men's volleyball program and is the program's all-time leader in kills. A 3-time all-conference honoree, JR is also 4th all-time in program history in hitting percentage and 6th in career blocks.
So when you think of JR walking into a gym and you have a 6'5", 250 young man, you want to send him to the football locker room. We didn't have a football team back then. The size, the speed, the agility of such a big man was impressive from day one. We had a lot of solid players back in 2006, 2010, but we didn't have any game-changing type guys. So very often JR was the guy. There wasn't someone to draw the defense's attention. They knew JR was getting the ball. He'd hit 400 against some of the top teams in the country, and guys would not expect it. We didn't have film back then, so there wasn't a lot of film exchange between coaches. So fans, coaches, players were in awe of how fast this man could get up to the net, swing, block, get back off of the net, and back to swing again. And he hit the ball hard. I talked to several of his players in the last few days, and that's the biggest thing we remember. A lot of guys hit the ball hard, and it hits the floor hard. JR, when he hit the ball, it sounded like a cannon was going off, and then the floor was just like a shotgun. It was amazing the speed and power that JR could generate. And again, if he wasn't quick, if he didn't work on the little things, making sure he was quick, working on quickness, working on footwork, he would have never been the player he was. I think a lot about football. I was a football coach before I became a volleyball coach. And JR was like the best receiver on a team. Everyone knew he was supposed to get the ball. They double team. They would triple block. And he could hit it through. He could hit it over. He could hit it around. And he did. Again, hitting 400 consistently in matches is quite a feat, especially when the defense knew where the ball was going to go. I'm so happy for JR. Again, I'm sure he's proud of himself, but I'm sure he probably wants to, give part of the award to his setter, to his teammates, because that's who JR was. It never is about, what he is personally getting. But we're all proud of him, and certainly we're proud to play with him, coach him, know him as a student athlete.
From the class of 2009, it is my honor to welcome J.R. Jackson into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame.
Pardon me. Lost my speech here. I'd first like to thank Stevenson University and the athletic department, and as I like to think of it, Village Woolley College, for this amazing honor. I'm beyond grateful. And thank you to everyone who made this night possible. It's interesting when talking with my friends and family about this award, it was amazing how much of my own story I'd either selectively forgotten or I had repressed. So I figure the best way to accept this honor is to acknowledge the journey that it took to get here before you this evening. Back in June 23rd of 2001, I was just your regular happy-go-lucky 16-year-old. I was dancing around my room to All For You by Janet Jackson. I had just finished finals, and I was packing all of my clothes for summer camp. Just not a care in the world. As I had done in 1999 and 2000, I was preparing myself for 2 weeks away at summer camp. But little did I know that earlier that morning, my mother had died. And it was like all of the color in the world had drawn out, and it was just this terrible grayscale. Think 8-bit Atari. What's worse is my mother and I were in the middle of the stupidest fight at the time. We were fighting because I didn't want to help her take a whole bunch of laundry to the laundromat. Mind you, at 16, I was built the way that I am now, so helping her at the laundromat would have been really easy. I just didn't want to do it. But that's to be expected for a 16-year-old. Sometimes I wish I had just helped her. In any event, one of the things that really did come to my rescue and save me during that time was volleyball. I had had my growth spurt that same year, and I had been working that summer to distract myself with my teammates to improve my skills on the volleyball court, and I was finally able to pull my weight. That year, I helped bring my team to the semifinals of the Harford County Boys Volleyball Tournament when years prior they hadn't even made it out of the first round. The other thing that volleyball really helped me with is another thing I was struggling with at the time was coming to terms with my sexuality. However, in volleyball or in most sport, your individual identities don't matter. It's what you bring to the team. And as one of my teammates so eloquently put it, all that other stuff doesn't matter. The thing that was most wonderful about volleyball, and I will always be grateful to it, is it gave me an avenue to channel my rage about the unfair taking of my mother at such a young age. I was able to constructively place that rage somewhere, and it was beneficial to my team. As a junior in high school at the time, I had a decision to make. Either A, apply to an out-of-state school to play volleyball, or B, stay close so I could be home to my dad. And I decided the latter because my conscience just wouldn't let me move out of state and abandon him. So what I decided is I would go to Harford Community College, take some gen eds, and then figure out my next step from there. When I was at Harford, I managed to find another community that I just absolutely loved, and at this point, this was the legal community. As a paralegal major, I found a cadre of sharp, cynical people who really helped temper some of that wide-eyed optimism that my friends and family know me so well for. So what I decided is that what I would do is I would use this to leverage my way into law school. Enter Villa Julie College. One day at a transfer fair at Harford Community College, I met with, I believe it was Miss Michaud, who was the chair of the relatively new ABA-accredited Paralegal Studies Bachelor's of Arts. And I was just so excited about, oh wait, I don't have to move out of state and I can still continue my education. As I did a little bit more research, I found out that Villa Julie College also had an NCAA men's volleyball team, and I was overjoyed. In fact, Stevenson still has one of the only men's NCAA teams in the state, and I think that was part of my deciding calculus in choosing Villa Julie as the college to pick. When I think back on my time here as a student athlete at Villa Julie, I think about all of the things that really helped me carry forward in my life and eventually become an attorney. Things like dedication, perseverance, showing up, dealing with things through adversity, time management, and as Allison so keenly pointed out, asking for help. I'm still working on that one, but it was definitely something that I first learned here. The community here was always so supportive, and I think what I'm most grateful for in my time here at Stevenson is one of my very best friends who I just cannot thank enough, Stevenson, for her. I'd like to think that wherever my mother might be right now, that she's proud of me and she thinks that the accomplishments that I've made are worthwhile. And for that, I would just have to say again to Stevenson and the community at large, thank you so very much for this honor. And I'm glad that what I did while I was here was something that contributed to the legacy of this university, as well as help build the volleyball program, which I'm so passionate about. So the way that I'm able to give back to the sport that has given me so much really means a lot to me. So I thank all of you, and I hope you have a great evening. Thanks.
Thank you, JR. At this time, we would like to honor our team of tradition. The 2010 women's lacrosse team became the first Mustang women's lacrosse team to earn a national ranking, finishing 11-6 overall. The Mustangs climbed as high as number 17 in the IWLCA Division III poll, reaching the CAC semifinals. Stevenson won its first 5 games, holding a national ranking for a total of 8 weeks, leading up to the final poll of the season. To the video.
The 2010 women's lacrosse team was such a groundbreaking women's team at Stevenson University. The kind of athletes we had, the kind of students they were in the classroom, the commitment to the sport and to athletics, their excitement was contagious for everyone. They made every game just so much fun to watch. Every competitor feared this team. I think one of the most special things with this team was achieving our very first national ranking. I think we got as high as 17th in that season. Nobody wanted to play us. We were the wild card. We came from nowhere 2 years before and just kind of shot onto the scene. We always liked to open with fantastic talent in our opponents. And, you know, I'll just never forget the kinds of games that this team had with some of the top 5 teams in the country. We really burst onto the national scene and really had a lot of people talking about us. And that was really exciting. And we would not be where we are today if we had not broken through that way. I think that whole national idea was so important for us to grow the program forward. That being said, the individual players, we had 3 IWLCA all-region players. We had several all-capital conference players, which was not an easy thing to do in 2010 with the teams that were in that conference. So individual players were gaining respect as well and being rewarded for all the work that they put into getting to this level. It wasn't about just one person or 2 people. It was the entire team coming together with one goal. They were going to work hard, they were going to gain the respect of the country, and they were going to do everything that they could to win as many games as possible. And that really was the foundation of my career here, was just really building to that point. So I could not be more happy for this team in particular. They were funny, they were smart, like I said, super hardworking, made practice energetic and competitive every day. I'm really thankful to have been a part of this group and very, very thankful to be a part of their lives, overall lives here at Stevenson. So congratulations, 2010 Stevenson Women's Lacrosse Team.
Congratulations to head coach Kathy Raley and the 2010 Women's Lacrosse Team. Our 5th inductee is Steve Kazimer. Steve was a 3-time All-American and 2-time USILA Division III Attackman of the Year. He earned first-team All-Conference accolades from the CAC 3 times, while tallying 116 career goals and 131 career assists.
I've coached a lot of days at Onondaga Community College. I was able to coach here for almost 20 years. Had a lot of players go on to Syracuse's and played in world teams and everything else, and not sure any of them were as good or as talented as Steve Kazimer. Kind of the first great player to come through this program. Herkimer had a Region 3 winning streak of 20-something straight years of not losing in this region. And Kaz put us on his back and won the game for us to end Herkimer's 20-something game win streak. Probably the biggest goal in our program's history. Overtime, called a timeout, and all I asked is, Kaz, where do you want the ball? And the rest of it was up to him to make it happen, and he did. Ended the game and scored the game winner to end the whole Herkimer reign, and that's when our program took off. So really, Steve Kazimer and Onondaga Lacrosse, the program's not where it is if it wasn't for Steve and his athletic and his talents that helped make our program where it is today.
When I think of Steve Kazimer, I think of one of the toughest, hard-nosed, pain in the butt, smartest, determined players that we've ever had here. He's just one of the guys that when things were on the line and you needed somebody to make a play, Steve was one of those guys to do that. And he was really a transformational player for us. He played with some tremendously talented other players during his time here. What stood out with Steve is that, he was able to be the player when we needed him to be his best. He was that guy and score a lot of really big goals for us and do some great things. And we couldn't have been more happy when Steve decided to come to Stevenson from Onondaga Community College. That was one of the first big-time recruits that we got during our time here, and he fit in right away. But, Steve had his challenges, but by the end of the time he left here, he was a much better person when he left here than when he got here. And that's one of the things that we really admire about Steve, is just how much he grew during his time here. And Steve's really going to go down as one of the most talented attackmen in all of the NCAA history, being a two-time attackman of the year. His ability to play one-on-one, his ability to see the game, his ability to know what was open before it happened. It was just unbelievable, and he really set himself apart year in and year out as one of the best attackmen, not only that come to Stevenson, but to play Division III lacrosse. Steve, we couldn't be more happy to induct you into this Hall of Fame class. You were such a tremendous player, such a tremendous person, and really, this is a true honor for you, and we couldn't be more happier to induct you into this class at Stevenson University.
From the class of 2010, it is my honor to welcome Steve Kazimer into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm going to start off first by thanking the Hall of Fame Board and the members for the inclusion of this great honor. I want to congratulate all my fellow Hall of Fame inductees. Your careers and accomplishments are something you should be extremely proud of. My lacrosse journey started with my brothers. I have three brothers. My journey started playing backyard lacrosse with them. Our backyard games, they're unmatched. That's where I honed all my skills, and I've never played in a tougher game than in my backyard with my brothers. There's people that I want to thank in my time here. Obviously, I want to thank Tom Acey, who's my first high school coach. Sean Smith, he was my second high school coach. Chuck Wilbur, who you've seen in the interview, I want to thank in the video. I want to thank him for that. Mr. Paul Canabine, who took a chance on me, recruited me for 2 years, and thank you for that. Tim Pools, for being the calming, soothing voice in our locker room. MC McFadden, I worked here also for about 7 years when I was going to school here. She was, her and Chris Raymer were calming presences in my life. Somebody I can go to and talk to on a daily basis and definitely give me good daily advice. I want to thank Fran Fiddler. She's here tonight. It's good to see her. She was instrumental. That was always somebody I can go into the office and talk to every day. Definitely somebody's smiling face who we all miss seeing around here. I want to thank Brian Myers. He was also a GA on our teams here. He was somebody who, like Coach said, I was a knucklehead, and he was somebody that definitely kept me in line. I had many, many teammates, and some teammates that I want to single out here. Obviously, I got to shout out the three Musketeers. That's Jimmy Daly, Richie Ford, and myself. They honestly, those two, they made my job easy. I didn't really have to do much but stand there, and they did all the running. A lot of other players, and I'll just throw out some names. Greg Hirshman, Nick Bavacqua, Mike Simon, Tyler McGuire, Jake Stockdale, Jeff Hebert, Kyle Moffitt, Evan Douglas, so many more. I truly enjoyed my time here, and as Coach Love's always stressed to us, I made some of the best friends in the world, and that is true. Now my mission is raising my two little ones that are in the back here, something I take utmost joy in. And really, that's all I got, so go VJC.
Thank you, Steve. Our sixth inductee is Matt Lukehart. Matt was a four-year student athlete with the men's golf program, earning first-team CAC honors twice. He posted a career average of 79.9 over 55 rounds, including a 75.9 average as a senior.
I would like to tell you about Matt Lukehart. He's being inducted into the Hall of Fame for golf. I'll tell you my first encounter with him. At Villa Julie College, in my office, I had two young boys come in and ask to be on the team, Matt and Jimmy. And they asked what they had to do to make the team, and I said, "You're on the team. You don't have to do anything." That was my first encounter, and it was probably my most important encounter because Matt Lukehart started something special with golf. He played 4 years for me. He started a program from where it is now. He was one of my leading golfers. We went to the Nationals in 2007 because of him and the other players that he got. He really helped the program become established. To this day, he is ranked 87th in the country his year, better at ranking than any other golfer that I've ever had. And that is awful good out of 500 schools. He also has one of the highest rankings for the average. But more important to that, he was a good person. Great student. Everybody liked him. He helped the program. He helped the program with practice, with tournaments. The only thing that I regret was I didn't play a lot of tournaments back in 2006, 2007, and we played maybe 11 or 12. Now we're playing 20. So he didn't get a big opportunity for a lot of golf. But other than that, he did something special to where we are right now. It's my honor to have him inducted into the Hall of Fame for golf.
From the class of 2010, it is my honor to welcome Matt Lukehart into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Coach Raymer. I'd like to give a special thanks to Coach Canabine, Coach Adams, the committee, and Stevenson University. Congratulations to all the other inductees. This is truly an honor. My freshman year, I had little awareness of what college or a sports team could really offer me. My first week of school, as Coach said, my best friend Jim and I at the time went in the coach's office, introduced herself, and we were on the golf team immediately. The following week, we were on a bus to Virginia, and I was immediately hooked to playing golf for a team. Coach Raymer and the athletic department gave us every opportunity to play in the best tournaments, use the best equipment, and never made us feel small. Thank you, Coach, for your patience in helping me grow up and always challenging me to become a better person off the golf course. Mom and Dad, thank you for supporting me through the 4-year journey. You've always laid the groundwork for Katie, Ben, and I to be successful. We love you. Stop crying. To my beautiful wife, Michelle, my daughter, Lily, who's not here, my pup, Mav, thank you for your patience today as I still continue to chase my dreams within the game. Means a lot to me. And overall, those 4 years were amazing. All the experiences and everything about tonight. Just want to thank you all for coming, and hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, Matt. Our final inductee is Lauren Zegowitz. Lauren racked up 148 goals and 57 assists during a 4-year women's lacrosse career at Stevenson. A 3-time IWLCA All-Region performer, Lauren earned all CAC accolades 3 times during her time with the Mustangs.
So when I first took over this position, the kind of athlete that we were looking for was someone who was dedicated and athletic and bright in the classroom and knew what it takes to win games. Lauren Zegowitz was all those things and more. From the moment I met her prior to her attending Stevenson, in her freshman year, in fall ball season, she just really exemplified what it means to work hard and go after a goal. I've watched Lauren over the 4 years that she was here at Stevenson. Always a great player, but just excel in all parts of the game. When she came to us, she wasn't super comfortable with the draw. She didn't like to go to goal as much as some others did, and she really just exploded, and super early in her career, too. One of the things that best would describe Lauren is coaches would consistently come up to me and ask, when is Lauren Zegowitz graduating? We do not want to play against her anymore. And I knew exactly what they were talking about. She was just a force on the entire field. Now, some people may think that that is due to just, genetics, athletic ability. I don't know if I've had too many players that have worked harder than Lauren off the field with not just physical conditioning, but what she did in the weight room to increase her strength and speed and power on the field, she was always up to help for whatever. We used to make training videos, and Lauren would help with the training videos, anything she could do. That's Lauren on the field. Lauren off the field, one of the nicest people you will ever meet. Comes from a wonderful family, and just every player on the team, no matter what their year and what their relationship, looked up to Lauren in such a wonderful way. So not only was she so important to us on the field, we cannot even measure how important Lauren Zegowitz was to building this program to the level it achieved, by the kind of person that she is. So congratulations, Lauren. So happy for you. So well deserved.
From the class of 2010, it is my honor to welcome Lauren Zegowitz into the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Lauren was unable to be with us tonight, but in this video, she wanted to share her gratitude with you all.
Thank you so much for this amazing honor. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you tonight celebrating my fellow athletes, but by the time you're seeing this, I either have my first baby boy in my arms, I'm in labor and delivery, or I'm a week overdue wishing I was in labor and delivery. Thank you for allowing me to accept this award from afar. Going to Villa Julie College as a freshman, I had no idea what impact playing lacrosse would have on me. I just knew it was the best decision I could make for myself. The second I met Kathy Raley, I felt a part of the Mustang family and knew no matter what the next 4 years brought, I'd be proud to play for her. I knew I'd learn more from her and my teammates than how to play the sport well. Those 4 years at Villa Julie College turned Stevenson University were the most formative of my life. Coach Raley, thank you for being more than a top-notch coach. You were a family when we were away from home, a comedian on tough days, and an inspiration to all of us on how we could be the best athletes and the best humans we could be. I just don't know how you've accomplished all of that, and you're just 29 years old. To the 2010 women's lacrosse team, who's also being honored tonight, we crushed it. We made some amazing memories I'll never forget, and we're bonded forever. Congratulations to my fellow Hall of Famers. I'm so grateful to be inducted alongside of you. You're amazing athletes and even better people. Thank you again for this honor, and Coach Canavine, I hope you'll save a spot on the roster for this little guy in 2039. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this annual celebration of those who have helped to build Villa Julie and Stevenson athletics into what it is today. One note, we ask that all of tonight's inductees come to the main stage for photos. If you know of deserving former student athletes, coaches, or other contributors who are worthy of recognition in the Dick Watts Athletics Hall of Fame, feel free to nominate them. The nomination form is located in the Hall of Fame section on GoMustangSports.com, and nominations are due by February of 2022 for consideration for next year's class. All nominees must have concluded their career in 2011 or earlier. Once again, thank you for your attendance at tonight's event. We hope to see you back next year, and please arrive home safely. Thank you.